All right, people. Um, this is the book that I was reading from today, and it's written with who is Esau Edom, and I'm going back over it, and it's one couple of particular points, and here's what I was reading: the three, the characteristics of Esau Edom. Is talking about characteristics, and they say this as hold on, wait, let me try putting on my glasses. It's a little different with them on, but let me put them on. All right. As with any script, the Bible reveals certain traits, attributes, and characteristics of the various actors or characters it talks about. We can thus find in the Bible some attributes and characteristics of Esau Edom. Okay. Edom is another word for red, which will help identify who this actor was in history and perhaps in the world today. There's much evidence showing that the seed of Esau may satisfy set only may be safely be identified with modern Judah. Edom's symbolic name. The first revealing attribute associated with Esau Edom in scripture is that of a color associated with his name. Esau Edom is symbolically associated with the color red. That's right. And Esau was actually born with this attribute as it is described in the account of his birth. And the first Esau came out red all over like a hairy garment. And and they call his name Esau. Yes. So he was red and he was hairy all over his body, you know, what I'm saying? So those are the physical attributes of what Esau is. You see what I'm saying? And because our ancestors, they went off and mixed with these other nations and stuff like that, then you have a lot of our people, like us, with some of the physical traits of Esau, because, um, matter of fact, let's get that in the Bible. Let me show you here. I always like to show people tell me they had an elderly woman told me the other day. She said that I can understand it better when you speak it from your head, you speaking, I can understand it better. I said, yes, I know you can, but I would still rather just show the people the evidence too, that they'll be able to say, because see, if you just speaking it from your head, although you have scholars, you can speak it from your head and you can say it from your head. I don't care how genius or scholar you are in, it ain't nothing like showing it to you, you know? So let's get that, let's see then, what happened with our people. Let's see, let's go to, Hosea. Let's go to Hosea. Ezekiel, Hosea, yeah. Hosea chapter 4, my bad, not 4. Hosea chapter 7 and verse 8. The Bible says, Ephraim, he had mixed himself amongst the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. Yea, gray hairs are here, and there upon him, yet he knoweth it not. The pride of Israel testifies to his case, and they do not return to the Lord their God, nor seek him for all this. That means they went and they started mingling Let's get some more context. Have to get the context. Here we go. Now, let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee unto the land, this is talking about Israel, whether thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, these are literally the African nations, and the Ethiopians, and the Gershites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, those are the Africans, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them, and 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 utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them. That means don't make no agreements with their traditions longer, and nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. That's what happened. Now look with Solomon. Let's get another context. Let's go to First Kings chapter 11, I believe. Yeah, let me make sure I'm saying it right. First Kings chapter 11 and verse 1. It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women. The strange women is the Caucasian women. The strange women are the Ethiopians. The strange women are the Moabite or the Chinese, so-called Chinese women. And the strangers are all of the other nations. Basically, anything out other than anything outside of Israel is a strain. You see, this is what's going on. And this is the reason why God told Solomon, he said, don't go out and marry with women. Solomon had 700 wives. He had 300, he had 700 wives and 60, like 60 concubines. Those were women that, like, what they call them, they call them like a mixed woman, I believe. Uh, I forgot. It's right on my tip, but I can't think of it right now. But King Solomon loved many strange women together with the daughters of Pharaoh. Those are African, the Egyptians, and the Moabites, that's Chinese, the Edomites, that's the so-called white men, the Zidonians. All of those are Zidonians are like an African tribe, and the Hittites, another African tribe, the Hittites. And of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, see unto children, he said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in unto them, neither shall you go in unto them, that means go and have sex with them. Go in unto them, neither shall they come in unto you. You see what I'm saying? For surely they will turn away your heart after their God. So Solomon cleaved unto these in love. And he had 700 wives. That's what I was saying earlier. 700 wives and princes. Then princes is women. And 300 concubines. He had 360 concubines. 700 wives and 300 concubines. He had 700 wives, princes, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods. See that? Not the God of Israel, but the God of the Europeans, the God of the Chinese. He would start worshiping a whole other God. And his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. So Solomon went after Ashtaroth, that's Easter, and the gods of the Zidonians, African, and now come the abomination of the Ammonite. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord as did David his father. Then did Solomon build an high places for Chemosh, and the abomination of Moab, that's the Chinese Moab, and the hill that was before Jerusalem, for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. So, and the Bible says in verse, and likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incenses and sacrifices unto their God. And the Lord and the Lord was angry with Solomon. That means God was pissed off because his heart was turned from the Lord, the God of Israel. Not the not the when they went to marry another wife, you are no longer uh, you gotta observe the 4th of July, 4th of June. Now think about it, the 4th of July, the lie, the lie that how they created America off of these lies, which had appeared unto him twice. Now that's what it was. This is how our people became looking like the other nation because our people mix and look. That's why we look a little different. You see what I'm saying? And when you look at our people, because we have the traits of the other nations, some of the traits, people look at you and say, oh, you look like a Saudi Arabian. You look like Esau. You look like this and it's all because our people went out and mixed. Our forefathers did not, and foremothers did not listen to God. They went off and started intermingling, which is a commandment that was forbidden by God. Now I'm going to read another text in the New Testament and show us that it's still standing. Let's go to 1 Corinthians, I think. I think it's 2 Corinthians. Yeah, second. Here we go. The Bible said in 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 14, it said, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion has light with dark? And what cord had Christ with Balaam? Or what part had he that believeth in infidel? That's a person who don't believe. And what agreement had the temple of God with idols? See, the other nations, they worship idols. That's Psalm 95 verses 5 and 6, I believe. All the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heaven. It said, what agreement had the temple of God with idols? When we worship Thanksgiving, which they call Thanksgiving, I call it like they call it Thanksgiving, and observing these holidays, what are you doing? You're agreeing with you're worshiping the idols of the other nations. You're not worshiping, no longer worshiping the God of Israel. And what agreement had the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. As God has said, I will dwell in them and will walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Now watch this in. They shall be my people. They, talking about the Israelites. Now verse 17 of 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. 2 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 17. Therefore come out from among them, and be ye separated, said the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. He said, come out from amongst them, and be ye separated. What does the word separate mean? Separate means The word holy, that is the same. Separate, be separate, be separate, be holy. The word holy means to separate yourself. You see what I'm saying? So let's skip the context there. He said, come, verse 17 of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 17. I'm just reiterating it. Therefore, come out from among them and be ye separated, said the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. Let's go to see. That's why we are undergoing these curses, because a lot of us don't listen. And that's the reason why our forefathers went into slavery. Let's look at Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 27. 26, I mean, Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. All right. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I am the Lord, and holy, and have severed you from other people, that you should be mine. Severed you means you have set you apart. And that's what the word holy means. The word holy just simply means to be separate. But that's why Solomon is a perfect example of that. He went off and looked at man the children of the other women. And that's how we end up getting these characteristics of these other nations. We end up getting these traits. Like some of us have traits exactly just like the other nations because of the mixing and stuff. Just like if you take 100% chocolate cake and you put a dab of coconut, you put a dab of each flavor, strawberry, you put a dab of all different 100 flavors in there. The more you uh, flavor it down, mix it, the more it's going to start not looking the same. That doesn't mean it's not going to be a chocolate cake. It just means that you can add so many of 100, over 300 ingredients in that, you can't even tell it's a chocolate cake. But it's still a chocolate cake. You just mix it up and put all kind of stuff in there. It's not going to change the flavor. You just, when you mix it so much, you taste it, you won't be able to tell the taste is in there. You won't even be able to tell you a chocolate cake. It's still a chocolate cake. You just have mixed it and put all other stuff in there. You see what I'm saying? So when you go off and you marry the other nations and stuff, a lot of people can't even tell you can't even tell who's a J, who's an Israelite, and who is who ain't. Why? Because those are part of the curses that, like, part of the curse is if you go and you disobey God and go against the commandment, because we went against the commandment, then because of that curse could be upon you. Like in Deuteronomy 28 verses 46, he said, these curses will be upon thee for a sign for a woman and upon thy seed forever. Meaning because you went off and you mixed with the other nation, you can start producing children that look nothing like Israel at all. The children will still be Israelite. They will still be of an Israelite. But the consequences are all your children can come out looking like the other nation. You see what I'm saying? Because we didn't listen to God. You may have a child, that child may look like a so-called white man. That child may look like a so-called, look just like a heathen. They'll still be Israel, but when people look at them, they're going to be deemed as being something else. Why? Because our people was hard headed. They didn't go, they went off and they started mingling and mixing with the other nations and stuff. And this is the reason why a lot of our people, a lot of us look different. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? But what matters is being of the tribe of Israel. That's what matters. It matters what the seed is. It doesn't matter how you look. It matters what the seed is. It matters what your father is. It matters what your genealogy is. That's what matters. The first revealing attribute associated Esau, Edom, in the scriptures, that of a color associated with his name. Esau, Edom, is symbolically associated with the color red. Esau was actually born with this attribute as is described in the account of his birth. That's right. I want to grab something and read you something in Babylon chapter 2. I want to grab that right real quick. Was that like at the beginning of let's see here. Okay, I want to read y'all something about Abraham. I'm gonna tell you that I ain't read this in quite a while, but I want to reference how our people, some of our people got darker over time, and it's going to explain clearly and bring break it down and give it a better light of what I'm talking about. Okay, let's look at let's start from here. On page Babylon Temple 2, page 34, and I'm going down at the bottom. It says another point to prove that the Jews were black is the leprosy law written in the 13th chapter of Leviticus. I'm going to read it again. Another point to prove that the Jews were black is that the leprosy law written in the 13th chapter of Leviticus and explained in the second chapter of this book. The strongest and most amazing phenomenon concerning biblical leprosy was that the skin turned white. These laws of leprosy were given to the nation of Israel, and they could not apply to a white nation. Harbert Winnet wrote, Harbert Windet wrote in his book, it began at Babel. All indications point to the fact that Asia was the cradle of the black race. It is written in the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld unto the throne. Okay, let me go down. Let's see here. Let's look right there. And Daniel saw in antiphonal, antiphonal, monic, antiphonal, phonic form of God judging the nation in the appearance of a vulnerable man who woolly hair like a black man, Daniel the prophet, and the people in his environment. The Babylonians must have had woolly hair. The Babylonians must have had woolly hair for him to dream of God having woolly hair. Many Israelites, I think this is it right here. Many Israelites in biblical times intermarried. That's it, intermarried with the Canaanite tribe, with the Canaanite Hamite tribe. And if the Jews were not black, the Israelites became much darker of a surety after the intermingling. Now, my point in reading that was, let's read that again. This is Babylon Temple of 2, page 35. Many Israelites in biblical times intermarried with Canaanite Hamite tribes. That's talking about the African nation. And if the Jews were not black, the Israelites became much darker of a purity after the intermingling. That's the same way it is when you find people like that. If the more than mix. Now, uh, like they say, that the African people, they are dark, but the African American people, the Jews, they're not black. It's just a color, brown. There are different shades of brown. You're not black, just like I'm not black. Of course, being a person of color, yeah. Many Israelites in biblical times intermarried with Canaanite Hamite tribes. And if the Jews were not black, the Israelites became much darker of the purity after the intermingling. That's how it is when a white, so-called white, excuse me, so-called black man sleep with a white woman. The the real Jew can can be light skinned, but after the intermingling, you'll start the more you can gather a bunch of traits, and you can have much hair on your body, all that type of stuff. The more you mix, the more hair, the more your skin can be just pale. The more you mix, the lighter your skin can get. Your skin can become much paler as you keep mixing. You see what I'm saying? And so that is how you get different shades and stuff like that. We're gonna get off into that in another video and break it down even a little further, you know. But the title of this is called the original black race. Originally, all Hamites and Shemites were black. Abraham was a black Shemite and a descendant of Shem. Shem, that's the Hebrew name. The name of Abraham was Abram before he was referred to as Abraham. Now, a Shemite and Hamites are different. The Shemite is the one that was enslaved by the Hamites. The Hamite took the Shemite and enslaved them. You see what I'm saying? So the Hamites were dark, but the Shemites were black. And when the Shemites started mixing with the Hamites, during the nation of Israel, or the so-called black, they got much darker after the intermingling. And when they started mingling and messing with the other women, same thing with the women. When they started messing with the other men, the children started to get lighter, and then some of them started to get darker, and it just went both ways. Just like our Father. You can't even tell if you look at some of our fathers, or a lot of the fathers, when they mix their seed and went off and started mingling with the other nations and stuff like that, the children became much paler, which means they look like Esau. They look like just like the Arab. Some of our people look like um, Chinese. The more you mix, your your offspring can look much much formed. You see what I'm saying? The more you intermingle, the children, the children of Israel got much form. They started looking, the skin looks different. The body and everything looks different. Their hair even looks different. You see what I'm saying? The more you mix, the, the more darker you got, or the more lighter or paler you become, looking like the so-called white man. Yeah. But that's because of the intermingling. But it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter how I look at the end of the day. As long as you, that one of them 12 tribes, being of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, being in a part of those tribes, that's what's important, really. Because it's not really about how you look. As long as your father, like they say, is on that sign or whatever, or in the 12 tribes of Israel, mixed with the 12 tribes, you good. But like I said, it matters what your father is. It matters what's about Numbers 1:18. You go read that. It tells you. It says it goes by the house of your father. That's what starts it off. It said it goes by the house of the father, not the mother. Yeah. This was real interesting too. And I'm gonna get into some more stuff and talk more on that too. But the more our people intermingle, the we started to look more and more like your other nations and stuff like that. You know, that's why they always say you can't judge a book by its cover. You see what I'm saying? That's why I see. That's why a lot of the brothers always ask, "What's your nationality?" You know what I mean? That's why they always ask, "What's your nationality?" So, like you said, and that's true. You can't look at a person and just say, determine what that person is by just looking at them. You know, that's why they always ask, "What is the seed of your father?" You can't, you don't just go by look like that. You know what I'm saying? You judge the person by what ethnicity that they say they are. Yeah. Like the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul said, I am an Israelite indeed of the tribe of Abraham. I mean, of the tribe of, I am from the tribe of Benjamin. That's in Romans chapter 11 in verse 1. You see what I'm saying? But he was called, they was calling him a Greek. You see what I'm saying? Because he was under the Greek custom. They also mistaken him for an Egyptian. Yeah, let's go read that. Matter of fact, that's in Acts chapter 21 and 38, I think. 37 or 31. Acts 21 and verse 38. I think it's 38, I believe. Acts chapter 21 and verse. We did 20. Let's see here. Okay. I don't know if this is good or not. It said, when he came upon the stairs, so it was that he was born of the soldiers for the violence of the people. For the multitude of the people followed after, crying, "Away with him, away with him, away with him." Okay, wait a minute, away with, and for the multitude of the people followed after, crying, "Away with him." And Paul was to be led into the council. He said unto the chief captain, "May I speak unto thee?" Who said, "Canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou the Egyptian?" See that? He said, art not thou the Egyptian? Thousand men that were murderers. But Paul said, "I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a, a city in Cilicia, a citizen of no man city. I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people." So Paul was actually, watch with him. Acts chapter 22 and verse 3. I am verily a man which am a Jew, born in Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, yet brought up in this city at the feet of Gamaliel, and taught according to the perfect manner of the law of the Father, and was zealous for God, as you are this day. Paul said he was born in Tarsus. So just because you were born in a specific location, that doesn't make your nationality at all. Paul, he spoke Greek. He was a Roman citizen. You see what I'm saying? He said that he was a Roman citizen and all of that. But here it is right up here. Acts chapter Let me read it. I'm just going to reiterate the read. Acts 21, Acts 21 and verse 39. I just want to make sure I was right. But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen, and he's a citizen. Like saying, I'm a citizen of America, like the so-called Chinese can come from China and have a child here, and that the mother and father come over from China and have a child here in America. What would that child be? They would consider him a Chinese American because he was born here. But just because you were born in a certain place, that doesn't make that your nationality. Because you were born in a certain place, or if you say I'm from this place, or whatever, there's a difference between you being inhabited that land, or you just there because being born somewhere or being from somewhere doesn't mean that that's your origin. You can be born and raised in Nigeria, but that doesn't make you a Nigerian because you were born and raised there. You see what I'm saying? Just because you were born and raised in Africa doesn't make you an African. You can be born anywhere and you can be genetically, you can modify, you can be uh, East European or something. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that you're genetically, you can even have the trait. You can have traits. That doesn't mean anything new. You got a lot of people that have the traits of being God. They got the traits of an African, but does that make them an African? No. They are like that is because their ancestors mixed with the other nations that made them darker once they started intermingling with the other nations. It said, but Paul said, I am a man written a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen of no means. City, I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. Now let's go to let's read this right here. Acts chapter 22, verse 1. Men and brethren, and father, choose ye my defense, which I make now unto you. And when they heard that he spake in the Hebrew tongue to them, they kept the more silent and said, I am verily a man which am a Jew, born in Tarsus, a city, born in Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, and brought up in this city at the feet of Gamaliel, and taught according to the perfect manner of the law of the Father, and was zealous towards God as you are this day. You see that? Now let's go to Romans chapter 11. The Apostle Paul will tell you what he was, but they mistaken him for an Egyptian. At Rome. Okay. Romans 11. Watch this. The Bible says in Romans 11, verse 1, I'll say again, that God cast away his people. God forbid. For I am also in the I am for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. Genetically, he was an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, but he was born in Tarsus, right? And he was being a Roman citizen. He was born and he was taught in Tarsus, I say. He was born in Tarsus and was taught according to the perfect manner of the fathers and all that. Yes. You can be raised up in a city and being taught the custom, and that's what makes you a Gentile. You're an Israelite by genetic and by blood. You're an Israelite, but because you want to worship other God, you are a Gentile because you worship other God. You see what I'm saying? You went off and worship the other God. So that's why God was calling the Israelites heathen because they was doing what the other nations were doing. It's the reason why they was called strangers. Israel became strangers when they started worshiping idols. They developed a mindset of the enemy. That's why you have a lot of our people have mentalities of killing streaks in them. You see what I'm saying? They have killing streaks in them. They have, you know what I'm saying? They have these traits of doing all these different things because they went off and mixed with the other nations and stuff like that. And taught, you can be taught and trained is to be hateful and prejudiced against your own people. Just like the enemy, you can have hatred worse than the enemy, programmed into that type of way of thinking. You see what I'm saying? You can have hatred just like the enemy, act like the enemy, doing just like the enemy, but you're in a Gentile state of mind, but you're still an Israelite. You know, that's what he means by being in a Gentile state of mind. So I'm gonna get off into some more of that probably tomorrow. And I'm glad you all stayed tuned for this video. No, I'm not. And I'll see y'all later. Okay, I hate the video. Our people started looking like the other nations when they started intermingling and mixing. Yes, our people started looking like the other nations when they went to intermingling and mixing with the other nations and broke God's commandments. That's what happened. All right.